Okay, guys, I trust that you guys are well. You guys are in good health. I know you might be a bit nervous about the upcoming exams, but what I'll say to you, just relax and do the work that you're supposed to do. And yeah, if you are honest enough that you do the real work, you put in the effort, then the exam will be fair to you and it will be easy. Definitely. For the fact that you are watching this video now, it shows that you are putting your effort and you are trying by all means to get knowledge in every possible way that you can. So in problems like this, let's just get into this question. In problems like this, especially Euclidean geometry and analytical geometry, I always advise you guys to first understand the statement. Don't skip to the diagram and the questions without first understanding the statements. There are things that are written in the statement and they are not on the diagram. And there are things on the diagram that are not on the statement. So to be safe, just know, understand, read and understand the statement and then go to the diagram. And if possible, when they tell you something from the diagram, just like this one, it says in the diagram, O is the center of the circle. So you know already that if they telling you that there's they tell you that O is the center of a circle, what should come into your mind? It's angle at the center, and if possible, there might be a diameter and all those things. But you know, if they say O is the center of a circle, just in your mind know that there's a theorem that relates to a center of a circle. That's the angle of the center. Angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. And then they further say MNPR is a cyclic quadrilateral. So if they tell you that a diagram is a cyclic quadrilateral, what do you know about the cyclic quad? You know that a cyclic, the opposite interior angles, they add up to 180. The exterior angle of a cyclic quad is equals to the interior opposite angle. That's what you know about cyclic quad. And then you just update your sketch. And then they continue. They are saying Sn is the diameter of the circle. So you know when they give you a diameter, you know a diameter subtends what? A 90-degree angle at the circumference. Angle in a semicircle. And then they further say chord MS and radius OR are drawn. You know the relationship between a chord and a radius. You know that theorem that say a line drawn from the center to the midpoint of a chord and radius perpendicular to a chord. And all those theorems, just be alert with those theorems. Just try to first understand the statement. It is very important to understand the statement, and the questions are going to be much more easy to you. Understand the statement, understand the question. Is as simple as that. So now they say OR are drawn. M2, angle M2 is equals to 64 degrees. And then now we look at our sketch. They have told us that O is the center, and we know when we have the center, we must expect an angle at the center twice the angle at the circumference. If we look at SR, you see SR subtends an angle at the center, of which is O, and SR again subtends an angle at the circumference, of which is M1. That means angle O is 2 times angle M1. Angle O is 2 times angle M1. And then the first question says, determine giving reasons the size of the following angles. They say angle what? Angle P. We have to calculate the size of what? Of angle P. How do we then go about finding the size of angle P? we know, or they've already told us that MNRP is a cyclic quadrilateral. So this is angle M and P are opposite interior angles of a cyclic quad. Then they have to add up to 180. So now angle M2, of which is the 64, this angle, it's 64 plus angle P equals to 180. What's your reason? Opposite angles of a cyclic quad. You can write the quad as well. Don't forget to write cyclic quad. And then now when we take 64 to the other side, we get angle P 180 minus 64. What do you get? You get what? 116. Or this is 8.1.1 and 8.1. Is it 8.1.2? Yes, 8.1.2. They're now asking us to calculate the size of angle M1. The size of angle M1. They told us that Sn is a diameter. So if Sn is a diameter, what do you know about a diameter? It subtends a 90-degree angle at the circumference. So that means the whole of angle M is what? It's 90 degrees. The whole of angle M. M1 plus M2 should give you 90 degrees. What's your reason? Angle in a semicircle. So let's do that now. We're saying angle M1, of which is this angle, and then angle M2, of which is 64. They must give you what? 190 degrees. So we will say, okay, this is 8.1.2. And then we will say angle M1 plus 64 degrees is equals to 90 degrees. What's your reason? Angle in a semicircle. And then now we take the 64 to that side. What do you get as angle M? Angle M is what? 90 minus 64. It has to be 26. It has to be 26. So your answer is 26 for M1. And the next question says we should calculate the value of angle O1. So here angle P we got to be 116, and then here M1 we found M1 to be 26 degrees. And if we look at carefully, angle O2 and then angle M1, they have a relationship, of which the one that states that an angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. If you look at carefully, SR subtends an angle at the circumference, of which is M1, and again subtends another angle to the center, of which is what? Angle O1. That means now angle O1 is equals to 2 times angle M1. Your reason? Angle at the center 2 times angle at the circumference. So the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. And then now 2 times M1 is what? Is 26. 2 times 26 is what? 52 degrees. So that is it for question 8. Let's go to the next question. 8.2 says, in the diagram, triangle ABG is drawn. So you can see triangle ABG, and they say D and E are midpoints of AB and AG respectively. So they are basically telling us that D, you can see D is a midpoint of AB, and they are telling us that E, you can see E is a midpoint of AG. And then now they say AG and BG are parallel. Sorry, are produced to C and edge. You can see they are produced to is produced to C and also produced to H. And F is a point on this one. And F is a point on BC such that FG is parallel to CH. You can see FG is parallel to CH. All right, this is all that they've given us. They told us that this is a midpoint of A, D is a midpoint of AP, and E is a midpoint of AG, and BG and BF are produced to H and C respectively as well. And now they say give a reason why DE is parallel to BH. They say give a reason why DE is parallel to B. Does they say BH, but still is the same as B. They want a reason why these two lines are parallel. So what's the reason? Our reason is midpoint. 8.2.1 is midpoint theorem. A midpoint theorem states that if these opposite lines of a triangle are equal, and also that one are equal on their own size, then these lines are parallel. I don't know how to explain it further, but your reason here is midpoint theorem, because we also have the converse of a midpoint theorem. So this one is a midpoint theorem because they are given that E is a midpoint of this side and D is a midpoint of this side. That's what the midpoint theorem states. And if that happens, that D is midpoint of this side of the triangle and E is a midpoint of that side of the triangle, basically, or therefore, DE is parallel to BG or BH, still the same line. And then now let's go to the question. They're saying if it is further given that FC over BF is equals to 1 over 4. 8.2.1, given that FC over BF is equals to 1 over 4. And also given that, what's this? DE equals to 3x minus 1. DE equals to 3x minus 1. And GH equals to x plus 1. GH equals to x plus 1. Calculate, giving reasons, the value of x. So where's DE? From our diagram, DE is this one, 3x minus 1. And where's FC? FC is this one. So this thing, okay, let me quickly give you a recap. FC is 2, BF is equals to 1 is to 4. So this thing is the same as the division line. Is to say FC over BF. You can write it in this format or you can write it in this format. But the FC is represented by 1 and BF is represented by 4. This is a ratio. These are not the actual values. This is a ratio. Meaning that for every one FC, we get 4 BFs. For every one girl, we get what? 4 boys. So it's a ratio. It's not the actual value of FC and BF. As we were given that DE is 3x minus 1. Here is our DE, 3x minus 1. And also FC over BF is 1 over 4. That means FC is 1, BF is 4. BF is 4, FC is 1. And also GH is equals to x plus 1. X plus 1. That's the size of GH, but it's in a ratio, not the actual size of GH. So now we have to look at the triangle that has the most information. If we look at this triangle ABG, we can see that we don't have the sides. We only have this. We only have DE. That means we don't have enough information about ABG to use. And then now, when we look at this triangle BHC, we almost have everything about BHC, but only this side. When we look at carefully at this side, that's missing, because we have this one to be 4, we have this one to be 1, and this one to be x plus 1, but this one now is missing. So if we look at carefully the one that's missing, it's actually in this triangle and the other triangle. So let's use this information to find the value of this one. You remember we said the reason why this line is parallel to this one, it's because of midpoint theorem. So midpoint theorem also states that this line is half of this line, or this line is 2 times this line. So let's say BG is equals to 2 times DE. What's the reason for that? It's midpoint theorem. So what's the value of DE? We are given that DE is what? 3x minus 1. Then let's substitute DE. 3x minus 1. 2 multiplied by 3x, we get what? 6x. 2 multiplied by negative 1, what do we get? We get a negative 2. That means now the value of BG is what? 6x minus 2. Let's update our sketch now. Write the 6x minus 2 here. And then we can see that in triangle BHC, we have all the information that we need. Let us then now use the prop theorem to solve for the value of x. Now BG over GH should be equal to BF over FC. So the proportionality theorem states that this side over this side is equals to this side over this side on the other side. And also if we look at this triangle ABG, this side over this side is equals to this side over this side. And then now let's do the maths from here. So we have PG. What's the value of PG? PG is what? 6x minus 2. It's not the actual value, but the ratio. It's 6x minus 2, all divided by, what's the value of GH? GH is x plus 1. X plus 1 equals to, what's the value of BF? BF is what? Is 4. And what's the value of FC? FC is 1. So now it's up to you. Since you have this equation, it's up to you if you use your lowest common denominator and multiply throughout it your lowest common denominator, or you just cross multiply. But I prefer that you cross multiply. I think it's the easiest way. Cross multiplication is the easiest way from here. And then if we cross multiply, we'll multiply x plus 1 with this 4 and 6x minus 2 with this 1. So let's cross multiply now. We say x plus 1 multiplied by 4 is equals to 6x minus 2 multiplied by 1. It will remain as 6x minus 2. Anything multiplied by 1 is that thing. And then let's multiply now 4 with x. And again the 4 with 1. 4 multiplied by x, we have what? We have 4x. 4 multiplied by 1, we have plus 4 equals to 6x minus 2. Let's take this equation now and write it here. We have 4x plus 4 equals to 6x minus 2. We're grouping like terms. Take the 6 to this side, you get 4x minus 6 equals to minus 2 minus 4. And then 4x minus 6x, you get negative 2x equals to minus 2x minus 4, you get minus 6. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, both sides, you get x to be 3. So you can still prove your answer if your x is correct, you can still prove it. Where there's x here, you put 3. So let's put the 3 now. 6 multiplied by 3 is what? It's 18. Minus 2 is what? It's 16. So that means BG is what? BG is 16. BG is equals to 16. Divide by, let's put the x here, GH. Where there's x, we put 3, since our value of x is 3. Then what's 3 plus 1? You get what? You get 4. GH is equals to 4. And then how many times does 4 go into 16? It goes 4 times. How many times does 4 goes into 4? It goes only once. So we have this is BG over GH is in proportion with BF over FC. Because you see BF over FC is 4 over 1. BF over FC is 4 over 1. And BG over GH is what? 4 over 1. Or you can just put them like this. Just like here, FC over BF. You can just flip them. It's still fine. But this is how you can prove if your value of x is correct. So these things are in proportion. Don't forget to write prop theorem here as your reason. Or you can use the reason that says a line drawn parallel to one side of a triangle. But I prefer you use prop theorem. I think it's easy and precise, even though the other one is also precise. But this one is easy to remember.